When Kirby Smart was hired at Georgia a number of years ago, one of the first things he wanted to do was lock down the state of Georgia in recruiting. Now that's, great to say, right? You got to keep the best players in your own state, get them committed and signed, but I'm not sure that's going to happen in the 2023 class for a number of reasons. But the big one being that the state just isn't as deep and talented this year as they are in years past. Now, they do have 5 commitments already on board in the 23 class from the state of Georgia. Really 4, because I don't believe that 7 Cloud, a 3-star defensive tackle out of McEachern High School, I'm not sure if he's still there, I don't see him in this class. So while they're off to a great start, there's still really only a few guys in the state of Georgia that I think the staff is really pushing for, and that's kind of what this video is all about. I'll be breaking down my personal in-state rankings, letting you know who's leaning towards Georgia, who's committed to Georgia, and who Georgia might sign from the state of Georgia in the 23 class. So let's get started. The first guy I want to talk about, of course, Caleb Downs, #1 player in the state of Georgia, in my opinion. A do-it-all type of safety. He can run, he can hit, he can cover. The guy just makes plays. Every time I've seen him playing on a Friday night, he's making plays, he's picking off passes, he's scoring touchdowns, he's helping on offense. This is a guy that Kirby Smart is very involved with. Will Muschamp, Fran Brown, pretty much the entire defensive staff is helping Georgia to try to land this kid. He is elite. He's the #1 safety prospect in the country, easy 5-star. And I think clearly the #1 player in the state of Georgia. So he's definitely a Georgia target to know. They're going to have to fight off teams like Alabama, Ohio State, North Carolina. There's still a few schools in the mix here, and he's going to be giving Georgia his official visit in early June. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on, and one I hope to see very soon in spring practice. Another guy, of course, Justice Haynes, big-time running back, #1 running back in the state, in my opinion. Over 2,300 yards last year, just a buttload of touchdowns. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but of course that's over on Dog Post. But speed, power, agility, big playability. When the guy has the football, he's going to make good things happen. He plays in an offense where, they're running the ball. It's no secret. They're going to run the ball. Defense knows it, and this guy is still breaking tackles left and right, picking up big yards and scoring touchdowns. Georgia, I believe, is the team to be right now for Justice Haynes. And he told me earlier this year that if he jumps on board, that's it. Del McGee's just going to take him and him only if he is the guy who wants to jump on board. I think he wants to have a commitment before his senior season starts. Definitely a guy to know, multi-sport star out of Blessed Trinity High School in Roswell, big-time baseball player, but he's going to be running the rock at the next level in college. Right now, I think that's going to be Georgia. So those are definitely 2 guys to know. Victor Burley, another big-time edge defender, 6'4", about 255 out of Warner Robins. I think Clemson is probably the team to beat right now. Georgia doesn't need to land Vic Burley. I know he's a big-time in-state guy from Middle Georgia. You never want to lose a guy like that, but there are so many talented defensive ends, defensive tackles, edge rushers across the country that if Vic Burley goes elsewhere, Georgia's going to be just fine. They're going to still bring in an elite class along the defensive line just because there's so many guys, right? It's not like Georgia's not going to get a few of these guys because there's so many to choose from. They're going to go after their top guys, and I think Burley's towards the top of their list. Right now, I don't expect him to sign with Georgia, but he continues to be a guy to know. Now, the top-ranked commitment on my list is Marcus Washington Jr., incredibly fast cornerback, defensive back, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He's long. He's starting to put on more muscle, but the kid can run and he makes a lot of plays. Definitely a guy who could turn into a lockdown type of cornerback for them. Dylan Lonergan, I have at #5, quarterback out of Brookwood. He's not going to Georgia. They are focused on Arch Manning. Kayan Lee, I have at #6, #1 cornerback prospect, #2 cornerback prospect in the state behind Marcus Washington, former Georgia commitment. I think Ohio State might be the team to beat right now. Watch out for LSU as well and a few others. CJ Allen, linebacker out of Lamar County in Middle Georgia. Definitely a guy who I think is going to be rising in the rankings over time. He's a big fan of Glenn Schumann. There's a big story on Dog Post talking about how he's been to Athens so many times he's lost track already in 2022. I think he's the #7 prospect in the state, and I think he is one of the last kind of in-state defenders that they're really kind of pushing for right now. Bo Hewley, offensive tackle, Langston Hughes on the commit list. I have him at number 8. Caden McDonald, a guy I think I'm higher on than everyone else in the industry. Just a monster junior season. I believe Georgia is pushing for him. Not sure how hard, but they are one of many schools in the mix for the big interior defensive tackle out of North Gwinnett who just lived in the backfield last fall. Nobody could stop this guy. So definitely a prospect to know. Gabe Harris comes in at number 10 for me, outside linebacker, edge defender, already on the commit list out of Valdosta. Guy knows how to get after the quarterback. So if you're looking top 10, in my eyes, Georgia's in a really good spot for a lot of these guys, and a few of them are already committed. But after the top 10, I do think that there's a big drop, right? TJ Searcy, I have at 11. Ethan Davis going to Tennessee at 12. Michael Doherty, my number 13 player in the state, committed to LSU. Adam Hopkins, Thomas County Central at 14. I think Georgia's in the mix there. Again, not sure how hard they're pushing for him right now, but definitely still one to know. Xavier Hardy, defensive lineman from Macon. I don't see him going to Georgia right now. I think they have others higher on their board. Bryce Thornton, I don't think ends up at Georgia. Big-time athlete out of Milton High School, who's number 16 on my list. D. Creighton, Denmark High School, number 17. Georgia's not pushing for him. And then after that, Raul LaGuardia, Zechariah Owens, Stephylon Green. These are guys that Georgia, from my understanding, isn't exactly pushing for, but these are good players. Now, are they ranked in these numbers? If they were in the 22 class, 21 class, probably not. They're probably a little lower. So overall, I don't think the state is as deep as it has been in previous years. 2024, guys who are going to be juniors in high school in the fall, that class is absolutely loaded. And I think Georgia is trending towards the top for some of those guys. That's going to be the big time class that Georgia really wants to lock up the state. If they don't lock up the state in 2023, not a big deal. I expect them to land plenty of out-of-state commitments like they already have. Raymond Cottrell, 4-star wide receiver from Florida. They got Justin Rhett out of Las Vegas. That's going to continue to happen, I think, in this 23 class. So Madden Sanker, another guy who has a Bulldog offer. I don't think they're pushing for him as much as they once were. So, on my list, outside of the top 10, it's hard to find someone that the staff is really pushing for. So just overall, I think this is a year where they're going to have to go more out of state than in state. And whereas in 2024, next year's class, I think Georgia will be able to lock up the state. At the end of the day, they just got to get their guys, the ones that they want, the ones that they are prioritizing in the state of Georgia. Right now, I think they are trending for some of their top targets in the state. There aren't a ton of them that I can see. Maybe some more guys emerge this summer and into the fall, but right now, it looks like Georgia will be going more out of state than probably usual in the 2023 class. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on the website.